Okay, let's talk about my first heartbreak. Not the we dated for 2 weeks in high school type. I mean the real deal. First love, first everything. The kind of relationship where you seriously start using the word forever and genuinely believe it. We met in college. She was funny, smart, a little chaotic, in a way that balanced out my overthinking. We had late night phone calls, coffee dates that turned into 6-hour conversations, and playlists we built together over time. It wasn't perfect, but it felt real. And I loved her in that naive, all in, I'll move to your city and learn to eat quinoa kind of way. Then, out of nowhere, it ended. No big fight, no cheating, just this slow fade, followed by a very calm, very adult breakup. And somehow, that hurt worse. Like, wait, we're not even mad? That's it? I remember walking home after she said it was over. It was 11 p.m. My hands were in my jacket, and I didn't even cry. I just felt empty, like someone hit the mute button on my life. I told people, yeah, we ended on good terms. It was mutual. I'm focusing on myself now. I even posted a gym selfie the next day with the caption, New Chapter. Cringe, I know. But behind the scenes, I was rereading our texts, revisiting places we'd been, listening to songs she sent me, on repeat. I kept telling myself it wasn't that bad, that I was over it, that I was fine. Truth is, I was in denial. And pretending to be okay doesn't make you okay. It just makes you tired. I deleted all our photos, even the one where I look really good and she looks okay. That's love. That's sacrifice. I stopped stalking her Instagram, switched to LinkedIn instead. Professional heartbreak, you know? And yeah, I unfollowed the dog. That was hard. The dog didn't do anything wrong. A month later, it all caught up. I had this moment. It was a Thursday night. I was supposed to be working on a script, but instead I just sat on the floor of my apartment, surrounded by empty Red Bull cans, a cold burrito, and 3 versions of the same sad playlist. I even played our old photos like a slideshow with Bon Iver in the background. I was the movie. I opened a photo of her on my phone, stared at it, and said out loud, I really thought you were it. And then I cried. For real. Not the cool cinematic single tear. I'm talking full-on ugly crying. The kind where you lose track of what's tears and what's not. That was the first honest moment I'd had since the breakup. Here's the part no one tells you. The big shift didn't come from a book, or therapy, or a new girl. It came from a Lyft driver. Yep, a random dude named Malik. I was heading home from a friend's birthday, feeling emotionally numb, and he must have sensed it because halfway through the ride, he says, You alright, brother? You look like your soul took a nap and forgot to wake up. I laughed. Kinda. Then I said, just got out of something long term. Thought she was the one. He nodded and said, Yeah, that'll do it. But let me tell you, sometimes God removes people from your life to make space for you. That hit different. Not some cheesy advice, not, you'll find someone better. Just the idea that maybe she left because I needed to find me again. We rode the rest of the way in silence, but I swear something shifted in me that night. From that moment on, I stopped trying to get over her, and I started trying to come home to myself. I picked up the guitar again, started journaling, not for the aesthetic, for real, like messy, angry, vulnerable pages. I stopped checking her socials, deleted the photo folder, unfollowed the dog. Again. That was hard. I put all her stuff in a box, labeled it emotional landmines, open never. I stopped cooking the pasta she taught me, but I still mess it up. So I guess she took both the recipe and the talent with her. And slowly, the silence stopped feeling like absence. It started feeling like peace. It's been a few years. I've dated again, fell for someone else, got hurt, healed faster, learned more, but I never forgot that first heartbreak because it taught me how deep I could love. And it taught me that losing someone doesn't mean you lose yourself. In fact, that pain pushed me to meet the version of me I didn't know existed. More grounded, more honest, more me. If you're there right now, if you're in the middle of your first heartbreak, it sucks, but it's not the end. It's your becoming. People say time heals everything, but also, so does deleting chat history and blocking 3 mutual friends. No, healing doesn't look like bouncing back in 30 days. It looks like cooking for yourself even when you don't want to. It looks like crying during commercials. It looks like laughing again and catching yourself off guard. And eventually, it looks like you, standing tall, smiling at nothing in particular, just happy to be here. If this felt like your story too, drop a comment. Still healing, still here. I'll see you. I'll root for you because you're not alone in this. And someday soon, you'll be grateful it ended. Not because they were bad, but because you were about to become someone even better.